Welcome to the Muckster Show. The Muckster Show is brought to you by Killin' Time Productions. Music and graphics provided by If You Know, You Know. And now here's the man himself, Muckster.
Hello, it's me. Do. So anyway, for anybody that's interested, when I was in Killamilla's chat last night, watching him talk about the whiny vet, somebody in chat by the name of GE Swag asked me about a video I did. Now let me just say, I think anybody who is familiar with me for a while knows that I've said often I'm not wild about dragging outside conversations into somebody else's chat. But he had asked me, he said, "Hey, in that video you did about JJ, where did you get your facts?" By the way, this is that video. Looks a lot like this video. Is that, no, it's not the same shirt. Anyway, you'll see this video is called JJ is a Hero, apparently. It's a sarcastic title. And in it, I talked about JJ Scarborough. If you care to see what I said in that one, go watch it. It's only like 12 minutes long. Anyway, hey, Secret Gal. And Nerdy, welcome back. Yeah, I might have said hello to Alan, but if I haven't, screw you. Anyway, so I'm in Killa's chat last night, and what's his name, GE Swag, asked me, "Where'd you get your facts in that video?" And I said to him, "What facts?" And that was actually, hey, let's again. It was an honest question because I do these videos and then I pretty much don't remember them. So I couldn't remember what all I had said in it. I knew I talked about this thing where JJ had shot a car. I don't think I really need that on there, right? Anyway, but I thought, did I say something else in there that was somehow controversial about this guy's hero? Which, by the way, I don't really know GE Swag at all. I would have never heard of him if I didn't watch Hill Pirates. And apparently, well, I'm guessing now since GE is so interested in defending JJ, he must be another one of those people that migrated from Kaiser over to Toddler, because that's the only reason I know him is watching Hill Pirates and seeing him at Toddler's channel. And I'd see him in chat over at Killa's, which a large portion of Killa's regular people migrated from GS, so it's kind of a whole Kaiser to GS to Killa thing. But anyway, he asked, "Where did I get my facts?" And I thought, what facts is he talking about? So I watched this video today to see what the hell I had said. And the only facts I proposed in there was about JJ shooting this car, this incident. So, GE Swag, you moron, those facts came from news articles and JJ's own statement of what he said happened. And I would think if you've been around these people this long, you would know this. So I don't know what the hell you're accusing me of. The rest of the video was my opinion on things. In fact, the whole thing I was talking about cause and effect, and motive and outcome. But the facts came from the news. The facts came from JJ's mouth. So, as the kids say today, suck it. Um, Let me just, while I'm talking about it also, like I said, I don't like dragging stuff into other people's chat. You might have been here at times, or Finkel's, which of course, yeah, that's mine too. Don't kid yourself. Anyway, I don't like it when people do it in my chat. People can go back and forth a little bit, but when you start, in case you're new, don't come into my chat and attack other people. And especially don't come into my chat and attack one of my regulars. That gets you the quick boot. But anyway, so I don't like it happening in other places. And like last night with GE, I said, look, I'm not going to talk about this here. And then you're deflecting. No, I just don't want to be rude to somebody else. And they also, a bunch of them, Vestige of Peace came in there. And a bunch of them attacked her. And apparently me and Vestige had problems at one time, but it got straightened out. As I've said before, a lot of times people tell me I had a conflict with them that I don't even remember because it wasn't as important to me as it was to them. But anyway, I think she was also like a former Kaiser person and stuff, and some of them were calling her, I don't know, a snitch or a traitor or whatever. And they were ganging up on her and Killis. And I just feel, first of all, Killa, when she came in, Killa had said, "You're welcome here." As far as I'm concerned, if the channel owner says that to somebody, you know, let's say Let's Otvo is over here right now, and I say, "Hey, Let's is here welcome here anytime, as long as he behaves himself." If someone else starts going, "Hey, Let's, you're this or that," uh, you might think you're just attacking him, but you're also disrespecting me. You're disrespecting my channel. And that's what people were doing last night in Killis. And they eventually drove Vestige away. And I just don't think that's right. But, it's the fucking YouTube, and there's a lot of children out there. Anyway, anybody have any idea what I started off saying? Yeah, I think it's. But the main thing is answering GE swag. My facts came from the news. My facts came from JJ's own mouth on what happened that night. And the rest of what I talked about was my commentary, mostly as a general thing. But also, let me tell you, a couple people then also chimed in last night and said, "Oh, Muckster just doesn't know JJ yet. He'll get to know him," stuff like that. Let me tell you, any of you former Kaiser people that think JJ, that little peanut-headed guy, is some kind of hero or whatever, you think he's a great guy. All I need to know about JJ Scarborough is he sat next to Kaiser. All that time when Michael Kaiser was on the internet doing his YouTube thing and lying and being stolen valor and being a known felon, this elected law enforcement official sat right next to him and they were best friends. So I don't really give a shit about the car shooting thing. I don't give a shit about whatever you say improvements he made in the jail. He's an elected official that sat there being best friends with a known felon. And I say known felon because he's in prison right now for it. And he was on probation at the time. So you don't even have to bring in the murder thing that the indictment was thrown out because of a technicality. He's done other things, and this guy sat right there and cheered him on. Trying to decide. I'm going to end this, but am I open to discussing why JJ was on that channel? Was there some kind of deep reason? What was he trying to save Kaiser the way they give him credit for saving the guy whose car he shot? What do you think, folks? Should I bring Secret Agent Gal up to discuss this, or should I shut this down and talk to her backstage? Put a 7,843,721 if in chat if you want to hear what Secret Agent Gal has to say about JJ and Kaiser. Or you could do a quick yes or no. I'll leave it up to you. Because, I've been trying to do the no conflict on panels things. Which, by the way, while you guys discuss that, there. I got one yes. Anybody else want to chime in? Oh yeah, I know. Alan, I can. Let's see what this idiot has to say. It wasn't GA swag. Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was G swag. You're right. It was this moron who asked me about it. JJ is now taking care of his family and community. Who cares who he previously supported? Oh my God! See that? That is that kind of Kaiser simp attitude. We don't care about the past. So let me mention this. So if somebody is a known pedophile, they did something 20 years ago, you're going to say, yeah, it was 20 years ago. I don't care. You don't care about anybody's past. I'm going to go ahead and put the link out there for Secret Girl only. We'll see how long this lasts. Anybody else tries to come up, they can just sit backstage all alone. Do 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 do. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
So, did you happen to know to go into any of Direct D's chats when he was talking with JJ and talking about JJ and the whole Chris Ryder situation?
I
And how?
have I avoid DirectD like a plague because I didn't like him from the first time I came across him back when he was still doing his cop
The
watch
cop
thing or whatever
watching?
he called it. Yeah, because I thought he
Yeah.
was a fucking idiot.
He's actually kind of a cool dude. I didn't know him then. I came in during the Ryder situation, and I learned a lot from him. But he has talked about it, and JJ has talked about it quite frequently, is that he went on Kaiser's panel because he did what a lot of people have done is he shopped his story around. He went to like the bigger channels, Lackluster, Audit the Audit. I mean, he went to a bunch of other channels to get his story out, and Kaiser was the only one who would do it. That's how he ended up there.
You're saying JJ is the one who was going shopping his story around.
Yeah,
Well, what was his story?
that I'm not sure. I don't know what the story was, but I know that he ended up on Kaiser's panel because he wanted to get his story out and nobody was helping him, and he was the one who actually agreed to talk with JJ.
Do you know how much that does not tell me anything good? It's
Well,
like
I mean,
if the only person in the world who's willing to listen to you is this felon, this piece of shit who stole from his boss and is accused of shooting of a veteran in the back of the head to steal from him. That's the only person that'll listen to you. That doesn't give me a whole lot of faith in what you want to say.
well, I'm just saying is that, of course, everybody needs to do their due diligence on whose panel they're up on. I mean, God knows I got my ass handed to me because I was up on Rabbit's channel. I didn't know anything about him. I slowly am learning about these people. I talked with Ryder, but before I really knew what was going on, so we all have to kind of take things with a little bit of grain of salt.
I
I
know
mean,
you did.
somebody.
You did a good job talking to Ryder that night, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I wish I had known what I know now, and it would have been way more fun. But I mean, we kind of have to take
But let
things
me.
with a grain of salt.
Well, first,
What's
well,
that? Go
I'll,
ahead.
I'll, I'll mention that in a second. But let me ask you this. Okay, so JJ wanted to get his story out, and Kaiser let him go on there and get his story out. So why did
Yeah,
JJ stick around for months after that? His, he got his story out, and then he still sat there with that piece of crap.
I think it might. I mean, I don't know because I haven't talked. No one's really talked with JJ about that. But I think that's when they started asking questions about Ryder, and when things started to get a little weird and things weren't adding up, is they were doing the same thing with Kaiser, as things weren't adding up, things weren't, and so that's how DirectD and JJ, I believe, kind of got all this, like how it's all exploded. This is what I'm guessing from, haven't been around for a while, but I have a feeling that JJ just, was just trying to get it out there and did it the best he could for what he knew. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not really good. Let me do something here.
And I'm driving, so I can't read the chat, so I don't know what people are saying. But I mean, we all have to look back, is that there was at some point a lot of people supported Chris Ryder. And now you're all finding out what, a piece of shit he is.
Yeah, although I gotta say I don't totally believe all the crap they say about Chris either. Although, why is I got something funny going on here? Uh, um, there. I came to changed the title for you. I don't know if it shows that yet or not. Anyway, yeah, Chris Chris exaggerates a lot of crap, and he brings on a lot of his own problems. But I don't. These people that are like saying he's a pedophile, and that I've seen no evidence of that. And like you were saying about take everything with a grain of salt, I've said it before. My thing anymore with all this YouTube crap, if you're accusing somebody of something, if you want me to believe you, show me a video where they actually said what you're saying they said, or show me some evidence. Show me news articles, show me police reports. Otherwise, all this crap about, oh, you know, one of the things I like Killa. I like the way he does his show, except I think his show would be so much better, and he would expand his audience if he wouldn't jump on all that Tifaho stuff and calling and saying, "Oh, well, she must be a whore because Ryder's old girlfriend was a whore." That's not necessary. Just stick to the facts. Take everything with a grain of salt, as somebody said.
Yeah.
Hello, Brandon.
Yeah, so I mean, we're human. We all make mistakes. And the things that I have seen and learned about JJ is he's a good dude. I came in completely not knowing anything other than how like the Chris Ryder thing going after him, and I'm like, well, this jailer sounds like a piece of shit. I was fully like, oh, what a. And then once I started listening, even though you may not like somebody and may not like what they do on their videos and stuff, you can still learn a lot in their chats and in their live streams, which is where I've learned a lot of things. And the things that I have learned from Directee's chats and Directee's videos, lives, is that JJ is actually a good dude.
Okay, let me interrupt here and say today's episode, folks, is sponsored by Zero Sugar Sprite. Most of the flavor, but none of the calories of regular Sprite. So let me ask you this. You obviously detest Chris Ryder, right?
I have no opinion. I just know that he is one of the best manipulators I have ever come across.
So what if you started tuning into Chris Ryder and you saw me starting to partner up with him all the time? It was me and Chris, and I'm saying, Chris is my best friend. I really like what he's doing. What would your opinion of me be?
That's your decision. You're a free person. You can make your own choice. You can be friends with whoever you want to be friends with. I'm still going to be the one that's in there supporting, these people that I have come across, and I'm still going to listen to what people are saying because, convince me not to like Chris. Convince me to like Chris. I have been convinced on, being on Rabbit's side. I've been convinced. I have been convinced to be on JJ's side. Nobody has given me any proof or anything otherwise for me to not be on those two. Muckster, I have to say is that the only things I've ever seen about you is in Todd's, past things with Todd, and I can't tell if you guys like each other or if you hate each other. I don't know.
I can't stand Todd because he's a racist, misogynistic, anti-Semitic piece of shit. And Todd doesn't like to be called a racist, but I say this. If you don't want to be called a racist, stop saying racist shit.
Yeah. And again, so your opinion. That's your opinion, and there's going to be people who agree with you and people who don't agree with you. And one thing that I've learned talking with...
I find it interesting that so much of Todd's followers came from Kaiser. People who will sit there and listen to a piece of shit lie.
Yeah. And And I'll tell you, this is me personally. I would not support anybody if, I mean, if it's hard to say, like, did you lie to me because you felt the need because it's online? But I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of liars. I'm not a big fan of people calling each other's names. We're here, we're adults. Let's act like adults. Let's get rid of the shit we have going on in the world and bigger problems than, a pissing match sometimes is what things come down to. And I feel like a lot of times that's all everybody does is the pissing match. Who can call each other faggot the most? I mean, like, let's have a discussion. Tell me why I should support you. Tell me why I should not support so-and-so. Muckster, I think you're great. I've been in your chats, and Rabbit told me of the lovely conversation that he had with you offline.
Oh yeah, I had a
that's
good conversation with Rabbit. I had a good conversation with MBK. There was somebody. Yeah, I can
I
talk
think
to
Angel
people
was
that
in
aren't
there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Angel's different. She's not somebody who, like those other two, are kind of universally disliked. I don't think a lot of people are anti-Angel. They might be anti the people she's friends with.
And we can all be friends with people we don't like. We can be friends with, not even friends, but we can have discussions with people we have different views on. It doesn't mean we have to call each other faggots. Let's get to the root of the problem and get rid of it.
And by the way, folks, I'm not. I wish I had the thing that Jeff has where it automatically puts the chat up on screen. I'm not good at following the chat. I did see where Giggles mentioned not all of Wrangler's people went to GS. No, I'm not saying he got all of them. I'm saying that a large portion of the people he has, though, came from Wrangler. I know some of Wranglers went to other. I think Direct D might have picked up some Wrangler people. I'm not sure, but
I don't think so. I don't think D's chat has any of the Wrangler people in there.
But we do. I gotta say, my chat does attract some very intelligent people, like Betting James, who says I'm 100% correct. So there's somebody who knows what they're talking about.
And that's what
But
I see a lot in these. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's one of the things that I see in a lot of these chats and a lot of these lives is that if you agree with the host, you're loved. If you disagree, you get called names, you get attacked, and that's not the kind of environment that, like, if we can all come together and, get rid of whatever is the bad that's going on, we would be unstoppable. But we shouldn't have to pick sides.
Let me ask you this. Did you
Yes.
join in on the vestige of peace bashing last night in Killis?
No, I thought that. I don't know who that person is. I've never seen them until that was in Killis chat last night. No idea who it is or the issues or anything, but whoever that person was being very polite, in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought the people that attacked her, that was disrespectful to Killa.
Yeah, and that's how I get attacked in Hill Pirate Studios. I get attacked when I go in there.
And it's funny you talk about people taking sides like that if you agree or disagree. I think the first time I became aware of you was Hill Pirates showing your conversation with Ryder. And so I think most of his people at the time would have went, oh, I like this chick. I don't know who she is. So apparently after you started being friendly with other people, then they're like, yeah, who's this stupid bitch?
Yeah. Oh, she's a scow. She's like, whatever, like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm not stupid. I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I was doing when I talked to Ryder. I knew exactly what I was doing when I went up on Bao's panel. I mean, I've seen how these people work. You know, a lot of the stories I didn't know when I first went on. I mean, I originally started on D by calling in. He had his number up. I was like, what's that for? He's like, call. And I'm like, all right. So I called. And everybody has open panels. It's not like I'm inserting myself. It's like, it's so much easier to talk to somebody about something than sit there and type, because by the time you see my sentence or somebody else's sentence, you're, 2 minutes down the line and I'm talking and you're completely on another subject. So you guys have open panels. No one wants to come up.
That's what a lot of times with chat, somebody will put something like, you're totally right, or you got that wrong. And by the time the person sees it, they think they're talking about a whole nother subject.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I a few times, and I'd be in a chat and Todd would be on a panel. Well, a couple of times I'd go into his chat just for a couple of minutes just to troll him, because I think I made it plain I do not like Todd. But he kept saying to me, he'd go, Muckster, you used to hate Jeff. You used to call him a piece of shit, and now you are over there being friendly with him. And I never answered, because in chat you can't explain something like that. So finally, the one day he came into my chat. He came into my chat and asked the question, and I could explain it from here. And Todd left. He didn't like the fact that I actually had an answer for him on that, of how you can change your opinion on people. But my opinion will not change on JJ, because he spent all that time sitting next to Ryder. That's all I need to know. Yeah, Kaiser. Yeah, all that time sitting next to Kaiser. That's really all I need to know about him. That, to me, that would be like saying, you guys, you don't understand. Himmler wasn't a bad guy just because he was in Nazi Germany at the time. It's like, yeah, Himmler was standing next to Hitler. That's all I need to know about Himmler. It's, for me, it's the same thing.
I kind of want to have you maybe open your mind. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people out there that you're never going to change their mind on Rabbit. They're never going to change their mind on Todd. They're never going to change their mind on Ryder. But Muckster, I feel that you are a open-minded, good dude who does their due diligence, who looks at the facts and, will do their research. I feel like you're kind of like me, like, I'm not real sure. I wasn't real sure about JJ. I'll tell you that right now. I was not. But once I really started to dig and look into, we're human, we all make mistakes. If he, made a bad decision back in the day, being on Kaiser's panel, don't hold that against him. Look at who he is now, because none of us are the same we were 3 years ago. We're all different people now. I'm not. So, I mean, I would just, that's what I did. So, Muckster is an OG.
Yeah, you say about, like, with Todd, change your mind. Why would I change my mind on Todd when he reinforces my opinion every time he goes on the air?
And that is something that is not going to change. Like, your opinion of Todd, and because yes, his actions are speaking very loudly and his words speak very loudly. I don't see a change in that aspect, but I would see a change in you if you actually took and got to know JJ. I really do.
Yeah, I'm not
I mean, we
interested.
definitely need to call out the, the douchebags, the people who are douchebags, but we should praise the ones who are good. JJ works in corrections. Wrangler served his time. He was giving him a chance just like he does all his other felons that serve their time. People make mistakes. It was not our place to judge.
Except I believe, if I remember correctly, that the entire time Wrangler was in, what's the word I want, but he was violating his probation just from the fact that he was hiding in another state.
Yeah. And I think I
So,
read something about that somebody called and told them where he was or something like that.
yeah, I saw, I think it was Vested said last night that when she knew he was in Kentucky, she turned him in. It's like, hey, that guy you've been looking for is right there now, and that's when they snatched him up, and now he's in prison. So really, the
Yeah,
whole
I don't.
thing about JJ was being nice to someone who served his time, except the entire time he was sitting next to a guy who was violating his parole or probation, whichever it was. So this elected law enforcement official was sitting there propping up a guy who every day was being a criminal by violating his probation.
Isn't that what Chris is doing though
With who?
with his bond?
I've I have no idea what the terms of his bond are. I know
Is that
people
he's
say, but
not. So the conditions of his bond is that he was not supposed to get any more charges, and he's gotten what 15 more now since.
well, if he's violating his bond, I think they should snatch him up. Um, I'll tell I'll tell you if you want to bring Chris into this. Chris's biggest problem is he won't shut his fucking mouth.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I agree on that. 100%.
He keeps talking himself into trouble. Any of this stuff that's going on with him would have gone away a long time ago if he'd have just handled the real business, whatever it was. But I'll tell you, Chris and Todd, I've said this before, they don't realize they hate each other and they don't realize how alike they are.
Oh, that's so funny you just said that, Muckster, because no joke, Rabbit and I just said that. I said that to him just a couple of days ago. I'm like, they're alike. I think that's why they don't like each other, is because, have you ever heard this saying, is like you don't like somebody or you hate somebody because you see in them what you don't like about you?
Yeah.
That's what
That's what, so often if I'll see, like I say, mostly what I see of either of them is by watching Jeff. Because I can't stand to just sit and watch their entire shows. I'll click in on them sometimes. And I'll tell you, it's like every time I click in on Todd for 3 minutes, I get something that's worth clipping and doing a video mocking him about. It's like I had no idea what a lol cow was up until a year or two ago, but
I still
man,
don't
he's
even
the
know what that
perfect.
is.
What it, what it is, it's somebody that you can keep milking for the lulls.
Oh,
And that's what,
okay.
like I said, anytime I tune into Todd, there's something I see that's worth milking. And I think Chris is probably pretty much the same way. So I'll tell you the thing I love sarcastically about Chris is how he tries to sound intelligent and he misuses words. Or, yeah, the one day I saw him say supposedly. I can't even say it, like,
Oh, when Chris says supposedly.
yes, like a 12-year-old.
Oh, drives me crazy. He's also probably the one that says ambulance. Library.
And I remember the one I took note of the one day was he said about something being well foundated. They're
Fondated.
like, yeah, like it had a strong foundation. It was foundated. It might have been foundation.
Founded.
Yeah, it's like he'll put like the wrong. He'll just add a suffix to a word and think he's using a correct word. It's but anyway, back to the main point. Yeah, you're not going to change my mind on JJ. This this
And
whole
that's
this
fair.
whole video I did on JJ actually was because of somebody else having a similar conversation with me of, oh, after I got to talk to him, I realized he might not be so bad, and he didn't actually empty his clip into that car, and it's like, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
he still sat there next to Ryder, and the person who was talking to me about it hates Ryder
You mean
more
Kaiser?
than almost. Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep doing it. Yeah, Kaiser.
Kaiser.
And this person hates Kaiser as much as anybody else I've heard talking about him, but he's willing to forgive JJ, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm not.
And that's okay.
I don't.
I
I
just
don't.
I just hope that, it's kind of like what Rabbit's going through, is that if nobody's going to change your mind about Rabbit, and there's people out there who are never going to change their mind about Rabbit, but just to stop spreading the hate and getting everybody on board,
Well, my thing on Rabbit, I said I found it so funny, and it was before the I think didn't you say you were talking to Rabbit and he said about us having a conversation that day? It was before I saw
Yep.
him on Todd's channel the one day. Well, in fact, it was one of the times I went into Todd's chat to troll him for a bit and then leave and go about my real business. But anyway, and Rabbit said, "Oh well, Muckster's just an asshole," and I thought, I don't even know you. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
I once a long time ago when I first started hooking up with Finkel and we were doing panels, I once had a long conversation with Rabbit about what he and Lion were doing with out holding up their signs and stuff. And there was nothing in between there, and all of a sudden I'm an asshole. And apparently just because at the time he was best friends with Todd, because Todd goes through best friends once a month. But anyway, I thought, okay, where did this come from? Because I was, and I'm not a huge presence on YouTube, but I was somebody that when he came up, I always said I want to see what the investigation, the whole thing about his wife, suicide, murder,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, I want to see what the investigation. I'm not going to judge. You had these people that were having channels discussions about him, and they were like using astrology to prove that he was guilty and stuff, stupid crap like that. And in fact, I know it was, I can't remember if it was in my panel or if, I think it must have been here because I don't really go on a lot of other panels, but it was Cliff who said to me said something about Rabbit, and I said, I want to see what the police come up with. I'm not going to. And he was like, "Well, don't you think the police can be corrupt?" It's like, yeah. Or he says, "You trust the police?" I trust the police to overreact. You know, I feel like if there's something there, the police is going to, you know, expand it and stuff. But so yeah, I was one of the people that was like saying innocent till proven guilty, and then somehow
Hmm.
because he was now on Todd's panel, I was an asshole. But anyway, yeah,
Well, the reason why you were an asshole and a reason why um, a lot of people, have gotten in my ears too about certain people is that if you're friends with someone or you're close with someone, you're going to listen to those little birdies, you know? Somebody's whispering in your ear, oh, this,
there's
oh, that, like, and you're going to take your friend's side no matter what, right?
well, well,
But then when you start doing your,
there's two different parts to that. First of all, like I said a little while ago, if you want to convince me about something somebody did, show me the evidence. I don't care who you
yeah,
are. Um,
yeah,
the other thing about sticking up for your friends, yeah, I do that. I mean, I in real life, if a friend of mine gets in a fight with somebody or whatever, I'm on their side. I don't care what it is. And then afterwards, when we're alone, I'll say, you were wrong. But
right. and that's
anyway,
and that's exactly and that's exactly what Rabbit did. And he was like, what the hell? Muckster's a good dude. He's like, I can't believe I listened to other people. Muckster's a good dude. He said that multiple times.
well, he should have known it already from us talking before, but
But
I don't know. I don't I don't hold myself out as a paragon of virtue or anything, but I try to be fair with people.
yeah, what is this? If you all quit mentioning Kaiser, no one would talk about him. It's the ones that claim they don't like him that keep bringing him up. He is in prison.
Well, it's because like in this, it's totally tied in though. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't talk about Kaiser anymore either, but with JJ and stuff, it's like totally part of the conversation because he's so closely tied to him.
He was, though. Not anymore.
Yeah, that's still though that tells me about him that he was willing to do that. I'm sorry, that just you know, I can I can understand. Let's say, well, a thing I've seen like Killa was doing a lot lately is showing these videos of Ryder, and I do mean Ryder this time, being with another guy who is now a known pedophile. And I keep,
Oh, that D guy?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And I keep wanting to hear, was this guy outed before? Was Ryder
Yes.
hanging out with a guy who was a known pedophile at the time, not somebody
Yes.
because if you don't know it at the time, you can't blame a person. You know what I mean? And you're saying
Hmm.
yes, he did know who he was, or just yes, you're agreeing with what I'm saying.
I believe his arrest is from 2012. Someone would have to like fact check me on that.
Mm. Yeah, because that's the
But I
thing I want to
believe
know about that.
I believe his conviction was long before they started. Yes. So he was a known pedophile before before.
Okay. And I noticed Giggle saying about the writer twisting the stories about JJ, and yeah, like I know the big story that I think that writer was one who was saying is that JJ emptied his clip into that car, but what I started with the video that I did that day talking about JJ, which was in response to somebody else saying to me, he's not such a bad guy. The facts that I stated about that car stop came from newspaper article and came from the quotes from JJ about what happened.
I believe it was
I
8 shots, wasn't it?
I thought it was just 2. I think the news article I saw was just it. Well, mine has said something like, I can't remember now. Mine has said perhaps as many as 8, but it was like 2 for
Yeah,
sure. But
if
anyway,
if
everything
you
else
look on
about
my
it
channel,
though, yeah.
if you look on my channel, I recorded that story that he told D.
Oh, well, again, I don't want to hear him talking to Direct D. I went to the news article, and that
Mm-hmm.
at that time, his story was that he did shoot the car, and it was
Uh-huh.
over. The guy was running from a traffic stop, so I don't know why he was even doing traffic stops, but and then the guy ended up going to prison for drugs because they found crap in his car. So that's apparently why he ran away, is because he didn't want them seeing what he had in his car. But like I said, mine came from the news. It wasn't. I wasn't repeating Ryder's version of it. It came from the news and from them talking to JJ and him saying what happened. So yeah, don't accuse me of spreading the rumors I heard from elsewhere.
Yeah. But we also know is that sometimes the news is biased and not correct. So
Yeah, but they were, in this article I read, they were quoting JJ, and the basic facts were that there was an 8-mile car chase, and the guy ran off the road, and apparently JJ
mhm.
like tried to blocked him in the front, and another police car was blocking him in the back, and JJ says that the guy then tried to run at him, and that's when he shot the car, was that he felt the guy was trying to hit him. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the facts of the case the way JJ at the time stated them.
Yeah.
The-
I'll have to go back and listen to this story again. I'll have to like brush up, but yeah. I mean, I get it. But it was lovely, lovely chatting with you. I'm actually at work and I need to go in and do some nursing stuff.
Alan
Mr.
wants to
Muckster
know
should
Alan wants to know if we want to know who he really is. Alan has been accused of being my sock, by the way, by
Nice.
everybody's friend Todd.
Alan Killian.
I
Killian
have
is a beer. Killian's red. It's a beer.
I apparently have had like 5 different socks over in Todd's. It's like very often somebody says something Todd does not agree with, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I know, that's Muckster." Alan was one. I forget someone else who's well established, and I can't remember who it was now. It was also someone who's a regular at Hill Pirates. Yeah, that's Muckster. I don't use socks. I go out and tell people what I really think.
Yeah, like, why would I need a sock account? I'm just gonna, if I want to tell you something, I'm gonna tell you to your face. I'm not gonna hide. No.
Oh well. Well.
But hopefully we can chat again.
Yeah, I don't mind talking to you, and I like I said, I always thought you did a good job that day with Ryder. You made him answer your questions, which very often does not happen. Because Ryder just does this, and he talks and he talks and he talks, and he says, 40 years ago, Todd did this, and which is another thing the two of them have in common. They bounce back 2 years all the time. That day that Angel Gamer was on Todd's, and she said something about, well, I thought we had a nice conversation. He goes, well, I had a good conversation with Izzy. What the hell did that have to do with her? Anyway, but that's what something they
Yeah.
both do is they'll go back and talk about something that happened a year ago that somebody did, and it's like it has nothing to do with the conversation now. Now this stuff, like I'm saying about my thing with Ryder and JJ, it has everything to do with the way I feel about him. So it's not the same as looking at ancient history. I guess I don't forgive people. That's another thing about me. I uh,
I
I
forgive, I don't
forget.
forget.
Well, see, I think I'm kind of the opposite. I forget. I get people all the time that will like apologize and say, after I got to know you, I'm sorry about what happened. I'm like, what happened? I don't remember it. You know, the the people that the main people, like in my real life especially, that I do not forgive are the people that harmed somebody else that I care about. I can forgive what people do to me, but don't mess with my family. Don't mess with my friends.
That's a true friend right there. Okay, well, I got to get in here and see this patient. So it was lovely chatting with you, and hopefully we'll chat soon.
Okay. See you around the interwebs.
All right, have a good day.
Yep.
All right, bye-bye.
She's not leaving, folks. She's not leaving. I can't get rid of her. She's still there. What do I do? I can't get her. It's like, it's like I gotta spend the rest of my life with her here. She won't go away. Actually, I'm gonna assume she's on her phone and having trouble finding the right button. So I don't know if she found it or if I kicked her. Kind of. Anyway, does anybody else think we have more reason to talk about anything now that I've totally broken my vow of not having the YouTube controversy encroach on panel? I'll throw that out there just for a minute, just in case. And yeah, I am sorry, I did not see most of what went by on chat. And my title's still wrong, but I don't care. I do apologize to GE Swag that I was calling out the wrong person at the beginning. And things seem to be going quiet. Nobody else is begging to come up here and tell me if I was wrong about something. Oh, Killian Beer is from Chorus. I know I'd seen, the only reason I remember seeing Killian Red is because I actually worked with somebody whose last name was Killian. So I guess I'll log off. I think I said what I wanted to say. We'll see y'all later.
Three guys in a little room, just a beat and a plan. Not much money, not much time, but we're doing the best we can. But we're doing the best we can.